my honor to introduce our commencement speaker for today. Gentleman by the name of Austin Brown, or like I'd like to refer to as AB. He's an ex-NFL defensive lineman. He played for the Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints. He became an educator and an athlete performance specialist when he left the NFL. He is very well known in the community. He's known for building and fostering young men's mental capacity, their strengths, all right, and then helping them work on their weaknesses, which at the end of the day, as long as we know our weaknesses, right, we can become better and grow, always. So, he founded AB Performance, and he has worked with thousands of athletes. He actually trained over 25 athletes to prepare for the 2026 NFL draft. He's also just a phenomenal man, phenomenal gentleman. It's an honor and a pleasure to introduce him and to say, come on up here, my friend, and give him some words of wisdom.
Great.
All right. All right, good morning, LSA. First off, congratulations, gentlemen. Not only to you, but to your families, your teachers, your coaches, and everyone who supported you along the way. Think about that. Think about your kindergarten teachers. Think about your community members, everybody that's poured into you. Everybody, it takes a village to do what you guys are here to do today. Okay? Today represents years of sacrifice, long nights, early mornings, long drives, moments of doubt, moments of pressure, and moments when you didn't think that you were good enough, and moments where you proved that you weren't. So whether it's training for exams, staying late after practice, or pushing through something that felt bigger than you showed up, and that matters. You did what was required to get here, and nobody can take that away from you guys. I want to thank the staff here for inviting me to speak today. And when I sat down to write this speech, I kept asking myself one question, what do you guys actually need to hear? Something that's going to stick with you, and then you're going to take it into the real world. Not just something that sounds good, but something that truly sticks on your heart. So today I'll leave you here with a few tools that, hopefully you can carry along with you for the rest of life. Once again, my name is Austin Brown. I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, former professional athlete. I still compete today. I do high rocks. I'm an entrepreneur. But more than all that, I'm a flawed individual, just like everybody else. We all have our flaws. And I want you to catch on to this early. Of all those titles that I listed off, that's what I do. It's not who I am. You guys understand that? If there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's going to be this. Don't confuse what you do with who you are. Because life will test that. There will come a moment when something you've attached your identity to gets taken away and it shifts, or it doesn't feel as the way you planned it. And when that happens, if you don't know who you are, you will feel lost. So start building that foundation now. Because here's a truth that nobody can avoid. Adversity is coming. Not if, but when. For me, that moment came in 2015. I was at NFL training camp with the New Orleans Saints. We were practicing against the New England Patriots. High intensity, high level, everything I had ever worked for. One play changed everything. Ball snaps. Make my first move, meet the offensive lineman, go to finish the play, and get pulled back from behind. And I hear a loud pop. And that pop was my knee going straight up to my thigh. Right? I ruptured my patella tendon. Just like that, the game I played since third grade. Just like some of you guys. It was gone. Let that sink in. From having scholarship offers in high school, 4-year starter in college, to being in my second year professionally, just getting started. Life had other plans. Recovery took a long time, took like 8 months. 8 months of rehab, pain, slow progression, learning how to bend my knee again,
a few degrees at a time. During those months, one question kept showing up. Who am I without football? That question hits deeper than any injury because it forces you to face yourself in the mirror. And every single morning you will face a version of this question in your life. Maybe it's sports, maybe it's a career, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something you thought that defined you. But when it shifts, you will have something deeper to stand on. That person doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care about your resume. It tests something else. Your resilience, your discipline, and your mindset. Because when things fall apart, that's what holds you together. And here's something I want you to understand early on. That comfort does not create growth. Everything in your life, if everything is easy, predictable, if it's safe, you're probably not going to grow. Growth happens in moments of discomfort. It happens when you're tired, when you're unsure, when you fall, and when you have to show back up anyway. That's where development lives. If you study anyone who's had any success, real success, you'll find a pattern. They've embraced the uncomfortable. They woke up early. They stayed later. They've missed things. They've sacrificed. They've prepared. Not because it was fun, because they wanted to be ready when the opportunity came. Now, here's the part that people overlook. You don't climb alone. Every mountain in life requires the correct gear and the right gear to climb. And your gear is your people. Your family, your coaches, your teachers, your mentors, and your friends. We're going to talk about friends for a second. And I know you've heard this from your parents and from your coaches. Because that word can be a blessing or a curse. You've probably heard this before. Show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. That's not just a quote, that's reality. The people you spend the most time with, they shape how you think, how you act, what you accept, and what you believe is possible. So choose wisely. Choose your friends wisely. You need people in your circle who balance you, okay? You need the one who tells the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. You need the one who uplifts you even when you're down. The one who brings you energy and joy into your life. That's the hype man, right? You guys all have a hype man. What do you think of hype man? The one who brings you perspective and wisdom, and then the one who stays loyal no matter what. That's your ride or die. You guys all need a ride or die. All right? Those people will carry you in your highs of highs and your lowest of lows. I know that personally because without my circle, I don't come back from that injury in 2015 to continue playing professionally. Not physically and not mentally. Since retiring in 2018, kind of like Coach Ruby said, I've trained thousands of athletes. From beginners stepping into the weight room for the first time, or MLB, NFL draft picks, preparing for the biggest interviews of their life. I've noticed something through my own journey and through their journey, through the different eyes of being a mentor. The ones who go far aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who separate themselves with one simple thing, and that's consistent effort. Not just effort, not just working hard, but consistently every day putting their one foot in front of the other. They try hard. They have built a framework on daily habits that keep them consistent with their goals. This framework is something that is an everyday thing. It's not just a sometime thing. So let me say this clearly. Be a tryhard. Don't let the world convince you that carrying is uncool. Care more, give more effort, and ask questions. Make sure you go all in, because people who win in life are the ones who didn't hold back. They're the ones who showed up when it wasn't easy. They're the ones who worked when nobody was watching. And they're the ones who refused to settle for average. When you try hard, you're going to regret it. You can look back and say that you gave everything that you had, and there's a peace in that, whether it worked out or not. I saw this up close this year with a player I trained. His name was Landon Robinson, a defensive tackle out of the Navy Academy. incredible athlete, dominant, All-American, Defensive Player of the Year, ESPN, AP, All-American, numerous awards. He had one problem according to the NFL scouts. That was his size. He measured at 5'11 and a half for a defensive tackle in the NFL. Doesn't happen a lot. Before we started training, I texted him 2 words. Those 2 words were "you belong." Every day, I wake up in the morning and text him the same message: "You belong." Confidence is something that can be shaken. And if you know that you belong where you're at right now and where you're going, that confidence should never leave you. When the NFL Combine invites came out, he didn't get one. And all those accolades, 319 players were invited, and he wasn't one of them. After everything he did, he got overlooked. That moment usually breaks people. But he had one choice: either shut down or lock back in and set the sights on a new goal. He chose to lock in. We trained harder than ever, focused deeper, and used that doubt as fuel. Then in his pro day, he put on performance that turned NFL scouts. Stats that ranked him among the best in the past 40 years, since 1987. That pro day got him invited to over 10 private workouts and visits with NFL teams. And when draft day came, he finally got that call and drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then right after that selection, and seeing it on TV, he texted me 2 words: "I belong." So hear me when I say this to you guys. You belong. Right where you are, right where you're going. And if someone doesn't give you a seat at the table, you go make one. You knock on doors, keep showing up, you stay persistent. Because your confidence might get tested, but your work ethic should never change. As you move forward in life, and in college, careers, relationships, leadership roles, remember this: the marathon will always continue. This is not the finish line, this is your starting line. Now it's time to leave your mark on the world, to make a difference, to uplift others, and to stand for something. So I'll leave you with this: consistently try hard, embrace challenges, stay steady in the valleys, and stay humble on the mountaintops. Choose your people wisely, and don't run from discomfort. Lean into it. Because that's where growth happens. That's where purpose is built, and that's where life is. So my final question for you is this: what are you going to do, and who are you going to be? Congratulations to the LSA class of 2026. Thank you for having me on today, and good luck on your journey.